Hey everyone, this is Marco Palmero, founder of Valuation in Dubai. In this video, I want to walk you through some of the questions that we ask to small business owners when we produce a valuation report for them. I think that is pretty helpful for a lot of people, and if you're a small business owner considering a valuation report, this video will address a lot of the questions you might have. Now, taking a step back, we decided to create and provide a valuation report service because being in the deal making arena, we have seen many small business owners come to the negotiation table unprepared. Now, the valuation report is not a detailed document like a big consulting document or a big audit document, but it is an initial piece of information that owners can use and leverage to understand whether or not the company is worth selling and what are the criteria that are currently used in the market to evaluate such business. There are, of course, some actionable steps on how to make the business better if they decide not to sell it and improve it over time to potentially sell it 12, 24 months down the line. And so the idea for us is to provide that initial document that can enable owners to decide and be more prepared when it comes to selling their business. So we came up with a solution that has the goal of simplifying the process for the small business owner and provide you with a document that has all the details you need without any additional fluff. That is based on the industry expertise that we have, the data we have, and the team of analysts that we got that works on these particular projects. So I got the checklist that is summarizing here some of the questions that you might get asked if you decide to, get a valuation report for your business. Of course, many times we get asked these questions because small business owners are wondering what kind of information they will need to prepare in order to facilitate our job. The point is, we boiled things down to their essence so that people can answer questions and avoid providing a lot of paperwork that might only, deviate and distract us from accomplishing the desired outcome. So, in short, the initial questions that we might start with are the industry, the country that you're operating in, and some of the specifics around the industry you're operating in. Then we dive a little bit deeper into the customer base because, of course, it is important to understand where the customers are coming from. What type of customer do you have? Is it a recurring or non-recurring? Are you acquiring those customers? What are your acquisition channels? And so on and so forth. That enables us to value the business in a much better way. Also, the relationships that you have with the customers, how are they managed? Do you have a sales team and a management team handling the whole thing, or is it the owner handling the process by himself? All these elements are really, really helpful in getting an initial flavor of how the company is getting, managing, and fulfilling customers. Then, of course, we cover the owner aspect of the business because in many cases the valuation reports are provided to small, medium-sized companies, and in these particular businesses there might be a owner that is still working in the business, an owner that is still in total control of the business, or maybe an absentee owner. And depending on the scenario, the valuation of the business will be affected, and there might be other additional questions that needs to get asked because if the owner is directly involved in the business, he might be directly responsible for the generation of the revenue and so on and so forth. So long story short, we dive a little bit deeper into the ownership structure, how the business is currently organized. And then we talk about market growth with you. Of course, there's already a lot of data that we possess in terms of market trends and this additional information. But we also interact with you and exchange thoughts and ideas based on your specific geographic area because you might have additional insight on the growth of the market, the potential there is to grow your business. Is the recruitment of staff easy or not easy? how is the business operating currently, are there immediate channel available in that given geography to grow the business, and so on and so forth. All these elements will be taken into consideration in the summarized valuation report. Of course, I mentioned staff, and it is important to stop right there and talk a little bit more about that too. A deep dive on staff is also important, especially if you're in a service-based business. And it is important to understand how do you recruit staff, how you retain it, what is the length, of stay of the people that work with you, and all these additional elements. And these again are all technical items that are covered in summary, and you don't necessarily need to have paperwork that is, adding up to your answers. The point is you need to have detailed answers available that will enable us to provide you with an accurate report. The more accurate are your answers to the questions, the better the report will come up. It's the consequence of the answers that you give us. Then again, more talks about customers. Customers are very important when it comes to small businesses and business in general. And in addition to that, we dive into the numbers of the business, which of course are my favorite part, and also one of the key determinators of the value of the business. In this particular case, we look at generally 3 years of historical financials, but if you are a business that is younger than 3 years, we can look at 2 or 1 year only as well. Of course, that will affect the valuation a little bit more because we might be talking about startup projects in those cases. And the entire valuation system might be skewed by quite a lot. Instead, if we're talking about a business that has been around for 5 years plus, there wouldn't be any particular change or additional question that we need to ask from a financial standpoint. So again, there will be some financial information like the revenue breakdown, EBIT that you're generating, and so on and so forth. Are there any adjustments in the business? Of course, we will support you in understanding all these elements. One of our specialists will support you on that. And then we will be talking about some more uncomfortable aspects like debt on the business and all these sorts of things, the working capital that you have available. Then we'll finish off with CEO compensation. Is there a CEO in the company, or is it owner compensation? And what are the balances of cash that you're currently handling on a monthly basis? All these things, by the way, will be very confidential information because you will not share at any point any data about your business name. So potentially you can get your company valued without disclosing any sensitive information, and that is a huge thing for any business owner because basically you get the answers you need without exposing any data of your company. You just need to provide these answers that have been crafted to avoid the exposure of confidential aspects from your side. Now, at last, we will need to address for which reason you are looking to get a valuation report done, because that will affect how the valuation system is displayed to you. Because if you're looking to sell or buy a company, you might want to look at different metrics. And in short, there will be some additional questions that we might ask depending on how you answer to these macro areas. But once we got all that, and again, it might need we might need 30 to 60 minutes to complete this interview with you, then we're ready to get going, and our team will take care of everything for you. And the true beauty of the system is that really the process is simplified to its core essence. And once we got all this initial data, we will process the data internally and come up with a simplified valuation report for you that again is providing all the answers to some of the most burning questions of small business owners, like, is it the right time to sell my business? What kind of price can I get out of my business if I'm selling it today? Is the market in the right position for me to sell my company? Is my brand relevant, and has my brand some kind of value in the open market? and so on and so forth. All these questions will be addressed, and there will also be a small section addressing potential things that can be done better in the business. So in case you decide that it's not the right time for you to sell it, you might want to say, okay, what are the things I can do better to make the business grow in the next 12 to 14 months? And so those things will be added to the valuation report, and you will get access to I'd say 10 to 15 page document, depending on the company, the sector, and so on and so forth. But in short, this is how we structure a simplified valuation report. Of course, there are many other elements that we can talk about, and those are more around the real valuation of the business and more in-depth analysis of the company. But that's not the goal of a simplified valuation report. The simplified version of a valuation report has the goal of providing small business owners like yourself with the basic info you need to make informed decisions on whether or not the company is ready for a sale and what you can expect from the market based on the current financial situation of your company. All that to be provided within a reasonable time frame without investing tens of thousands of dollars in fees and consulting fees. That is really what this valuation report is accomplishing in terms of goals. So if that fits with your current desires and your current aspirations and solves the problem that you're looking to address, make sure you check the link below. We have a direct connection to our valuation report. You can get started right away, and our team will be available to support you on that. So again, the valuation report is an initial step to get a feeling of what the business is worth in today's market and how you can potentially sell it and for what multiple. So if you're interested in knowing more about that, make sure you check our link for the valuation report, and I'll see you